Hey there, friends. Welcome to the CFC Leadership Podcast, where we focus on everything campus ministry, college ministry, and young adult ministry related. Whether you're already working in one of these ministry areas, thinking about starting a ministry, or just have a burden for this age group, this podcast is meant just for you. I'm your host, Kyle Austin, and now it's time to join with us in today's conversation. We want to talk about ways to advertise your ministry on the college campus. We'll look at it from two perspectives. One, maybe you're a campus ministry and you are looking for ways to advertise your weekly meetings there on the college campus to get students to come to them. Maybe from the other perspective, you are a young adult leader or a college and career ministry leader in a local church, and you're trying to find ways to interact with the campus community and maybe to advertise your Sunday school or your small group meetings there on the college campus, or even to get students to come to your church services. So we'll look at both of those here in a moment. Before we start that conversation, let me just give you a quick word about an upcoming college and career retreat that's sponsored by Collegians for Christ. It'll be held February 10th through the 11th in Greenville, North Carolina at People's Baptist Church. Now, for college and career leaders, which I know many of you are that are listening, there will be specific breakout sessions just for you, tailored to equip you in building and growing effective college and career ministries. And then as far as the main retreat itself, there'll be main preaching sessions, there'll be relevant breakout sessions, small group, God-infused time. There'll be a hot topic Q&A session, of course, fun activities and games to go along with that, and a delicious lunch. And registration is $35. You can get more information and register at cfcretreats.com. If you have more questions or need anything about that, just reach out to us. So let's jump into our topic here, ways we can advertise our ministry on the college campus. You know, as you think about ministry, especially campus ministry, you have to brand yourself. Now, if you see a can and it's red and it has certain inscription on it, many times you know it automatically that it's a Coca-Cola. You see Chick-fil-A, you know it. Why? Because they brand themselves well. Many times you see that logo, you see just the colors, and you understand that's what it is. And as we approach a college campus, I always hate to use the word branding and ministry together, but as campus ministries with the revolving door of students, with all that's going on that city, within a city, you have to brand yourself, and you have to brand yourself well. And so having information to give to people is very important. So whether you're a campus ministry, whether you're a young adult ministry, having some type of card, having something that you can put in people's hands that lets them know who you are and where you're meeting, that is really foundational before we jump into anything else. You have to at least have that so you can point them somewhere and to know what you're pointing them to. And so having some type of 4x6, 3x5 invite track that just has your information and so forth. Now from there, what will we do to get people to come to our meetings? I get asked this often. What I'm just sharing with you is what we've experienced personally of doing campus ministry for a little bit over 10 years and what our other CFC ministries are experiencing that are getting students to their meetings. Now, understand what worked maybe 8 years ago may not work today. What works on your campus may not work fully on my campus. We have to be very fluid just because there are different things that kind of come into play. But over and above all, what I'm going to share with you is kind of just the general that has worked well on many campuses. So the first one is this, I would say, is word of mouth. Word of mouth is the greatest and best advertisement that you can have. As you have students that are coming to your meetings, encourage them, challenge them to invite their friends. One, if it's a place that they really enjoy coming to, they'll probably naturally invite their friends, but many times they need just a little push, just a little encouragement to invite friends in. One, it can give them the opportunity to be a witness. You know, maybe they have unsaved friends that they're not sure about. Have them invite them in because they know they'll hear the gospel. If you have special events, guest speakers, activities, fun events, anything like that, use that as a springboard to have them invite friends in, maybe even reward or give a gift or a prize for, whoever has the most guests. But that's one of the great ways to get people into your ministry. Now, from there, I would say this. Number two, and this is very important, especially for campus ministries, is some type of signs or banners on campus. campus. Now, why would these be so important? Well, these work 24/7 for you. We're going to talk next about outreach tables, which are very important, but your outreach tables are only as effective as as the time you spend on campus. So when we're talking about signs on campus, I'm sure you've seen yard signs, political signs out in the community. 18 by 24 yard signs are a great way to do that. A-frame signs that you can put up on campuses are a great way. Maybe your school allows you to hang banners between trees or on some type of wall where the railing's at. I'm trying to think as I see across all the campuses I've had the privilege to walk on and look at, but our most effective has been the 18 by 24 yard sign, and it has Collisions for Christ, and we leave a blank spot on it because our room locations can change often, and so in that blank spot we will use a permanent marker and just write time and place. And so time, we're meeting Wednesday, 7 o'clock, place, room 307, Student Center. You can also advertise special events that way. You can advertise coffee tables, outreach tables, and different things. But the big thing is place those signs out and place them in mulch areas. Try to refrain from doing it in the grass. Just think about the lawn care maintenance people, and every time they have to get off a lawnmower to move it, they're more than likely going to throw it in the trash. And so if you'll place it in mulch areas where it can be seen, and maybe do it at the beginning of the semester, maybe do it towards the middle of the semester and end, or just kind of keep them out there periodically. A-frame signs work well too, even if maybe your campus absolutely does not allow yard signs. Maybe you can do an A-frame sign the day of your meeting. Just leave it out there. As many times I've done that. I'll drive early in the morning, leave the sign, we come meet later that day or that evening, and that sign's worked for me all day long. And so signs on campus are very important. The banners, we utilize those. Whatever you can, just think of ways you can put your name, your ministry in front of people as much as possible. Because you have to think your church building that you're a part of has a sign that people ride up and down the road all the time, right? And so they see that. Your campus ministry does not have that, and so you have to find ways to utilize the signs on campus. Another way to do that is many times the student centers will have TVs that flash ads and displays. You can utilize those if you're a registered organization to advertise your meetings on those screens, and that can be very, very beneficial. You say, well, what if we're not a campus ministry? What if we are a young adult ministry in town? We're just trying to break in and trying to get inroads in and invite students over. Well, more than likely you can't do the signs because you're not a registered group, and that's no problem. Depending on your campus setup, now you might can if it's in a city or if there's some public walkways and stuff, you could utilize those with the signs. You could still probably use an A-frame sign. We can talk to you about that, but that brings us to our third thing here, and that's outreach tables. Now, if you're an outside group, most campuses will have different ways that you can access the campus. Some you can utilize the free speech area. You can set up a table there. You can talk to students. You can have students sign up. You can have tracks and information pointing them back to your young adult ministry. Always having something. And in saying this, also having a website is very, very helpful, because as students get information in their hand, what do? When you go somewhere new and you want to find out where stuff's at, what are you doing? So you search, you Google restaurants, you Google fun things to do. If you're looking for a church, you Google Baptist churches or whatever church type you're looking for. And from there, you begin to go to these places. And so many times students will search you on the web. And so having a website, or at least having a page on your church website, if you're an off-campus group, if you can, like for all our groups, we have a domain that is purchased specifically for each CFC ministry. So here we're CFC Greenville, because Greenville's where ECU's at. CFC Raleigh or CFC Boone, whatever it is, will lead them to that page. And so that is a domain we purchase, and it leads people directly to the page within our main website where they can have all their information. What I'm saying is you could do that with your church website. You could purchase, if your young adult ministry is Crosspoint or Turning Point, whatever it is, turningpoint, .com. And as soon as they type that in, it leads them to your page within the main website. And from there, you can have your meeting times, because people like to see what is it exactly I'm coming to. And you can have pictures, you can have information, leadership, and all that stuff. So having that is helpful. And so as you're at these outreach tables, And these go both ways for campus ministries and off-campus groups, but this is a great way for you as a young adult ministry to get on campus and interact with students, and it may lead to you having a campus ministry down the road one day. But you can just stand there, you can talk to students, you can have prayer, you can have some signs that say, hey, leave any prayer requests, you can give out coffee, you can give out hot chocolate, lemonade. The ideas are unlimited. In some campuses, you'll need to reserve the space. Some are you can do it anywhere on campus as long as you're not blocking walkways. Some is the free speech areas, the only place that can be used. And sometimes that free speech area is used however you want to, or sometimes it's reserved. Now, we can help you to find out what the guidelines are for your school. So if you're interested in doing that, let us know. But that's a great way for you as an off-campus group to get on there, interact with students, to let them know who you are, take prayer requests, get information. You want to put your information in their hands, but you also want to get their information if they'll let you. Meaning, hey, we like to send out weekly text reminders of the events we have. If you want to sign up, you can always unsubscribe or opt out. And so when I send out weekly text reminders, there's always a place for them to hit stop so they don't have to receive them. And so get people to sign up so that way you can give them information, remind them of who you are, let them know about a special event, and so forth. And if you're an on-campus group, this is a great way to advertise your ministry, to be out there. You're up with banners. They see your name. You're marketing yourself. You're branding yourself, but you're also getting the gospel out. You're also inviting students to your weekly Bible study. And so these outreach tables are very, very beneficial. And like I said, you can do free coffee, prayer tables, exam bags, listening posts. The ideas are absolutely unlimited with what you can be creative with to do these tables. Just walk around campus, see what other people are doing as far as tables. If you're an on-campus group, of course, you can do outreach tables inside the student union, outside. Next, I would say is social media and the website, which I've already mentioned. I think it's very important to have some type of web presence. Social media is important. Instagram is kind of the go-to for college students, just for advertising, letting people know what's going on. I don't think it's going to be your best means of advertisement, but it's at least going to get the word out. People can see what you're doing. They see the pictures. They see you're active. They see faces. They see realness. So utilize that as a way to advertise your ministry. And then special events. We've kind of mentioned that with the word of mouth, but do plan special events. It doesn't have to be some big event, but plan, your activities, your events, and invite students to that. If you're going to have a big football type outreach, put some signs out on campus. Let people know about it. If you're going to have, some type of guest speaker, advertise that, but also use that as a point to challenge your students to bring friends. Use that as a time for your church maybe to go out and blitz maybe student apartments and stuff, campus, use the free speech area and so forth. And then the next one I would say is T-shirts and merch. To me, that's a great source of advertisement as people see the T-shirts on students that are walking around, and they can be a little costly, but we give out T-shirts to our students, our faithful ones, because they wear them around campus. People ask, hey, what's that? Or, there's an ownership there and so forth. Any type of merch you can put in their hands, pens, of course, phone wallets, wristbands, and keychains. It's really all sorts of stuff you can do, but merch is very important there. I would say the least effective, if you've listened to maybe the biggest things, to me is the word of mouth and the signs and the outreach tables. That's huge. Those are the main means that we have students coming in. And just to show you, we've had visitors every week since the fall semester began for our ministry, and it's through these means of word of mouth, signs on campus, outreach tables that will be done. The signs really helped us tremendously at this point. But the least effective that I've seen over the years are posters. We've tried them. We've tried to put them on bus stops. We've tried to put them on doors. I'm not saying people won't come, but if you're trying to be efficient and you're trying to maximize your potential there on campus, for us and many of our ministries, posters have just not been the thing that has worked. Now then, also go into student apartments. So we do that, but we don't per se do that knowing that it's going to bring a great return of visitors to our ministries. A lot of people will go out and they'll canvas apartments and stuff, and that's very important because you're getting the gospel out. But for us, that's a time for us to specifically engage students with the gospel. Now, we've had students visit over the years, but with the efficiency and getting students to your meetings, that is one of the least effective for us. And even some of our other ministries, because you expend a lot of time walking, knocking, talking. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to do it. I'm not saying it's not beneficial, but for us, we just look at it as a specific time to get the gospel out. And if students come, great, but that's not our goal from that. And so I hope this has been a help to you. Again, the word of mouth signs are huge. I hear a lot of people, how can I get it? How can I get it? And it's signs, it's banners, it's branding yourself, it's being out on campus, and just find ways. Walk around campus. You say, I'm unsure if I can put signs out on campus. Well, let's find out for you. Let's see if we can dig in and see if we can find out. Worst that can happen is you stick them in a few mulch areas and they ask you not to do it again. We never want to do anything against the rules, but if you'll do the mulch areas and you'll be respectful of the property and make sure they look nice. And I guess that's the other thing. Let me say this real quick on those signs, and we'll be done with our episode. You can do design signs. Like I said, we design them. We have the Collegians for Christ logo. We have the big white block so we can write in. I mean, you can put your time, meeting place, so it's fully designed. We do the white blocks because it gives us some ability to adjust. But then also, let's say you don't have the money or really want to do the design ones, order from Amazon some blank 18 by 24 signs with the yard stakes and just write on there. Your meeting is a little more organic. It's a little more grassroots. And we do this sometimes just to do variation, but just write on there your name of your ministry, Collegians for Christ, meeting time, free food, when, where, and stick those around campus. It just looks a little different. It doesn't always have to be designed, though that is good because you see the logo, you're branding yourself well. But that's just something I wanted to throw out there as well. If you have any questions on any of this, the free speech usage, signs, if you are a CFC ministry and you're looking for some of this resources, let me help you with that. If you're another group and you're just trying to figure it out, just help us or let us help you. You can email us at connect@cfccampusministry.com. That's connect@cfccampusministry.com. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If this podcast has been helpful to you, please share it with a friend or subscribe to stay up to date on the latest episodes. You can connect with Collegians for Christ online for more information and resources at cfccampusministry.com.